Welcome and hello. This is Transparency Talk, and I'm Christina. Today's guest is Byron Williams, drafted by the Green Bay Packers and played for the New York Giants with the NFL. Thank you so much for taking time today out of your busy schedule to sit with me for a few minutes and have a candid conversation.
Absolutely.
So, how have you been?
I've been doing great. Just got back from LA yesterday and had a little nice time over in California.
How was that?
It was good. It was good. Just went over there on some business, and one of the chapters that I oversee is Orange County. We just started that chapter, so went over and talked to the president over there named Dante Whitner. He used to play for the Buffalo Bills and the 49ers. He's the new president over there, and so just giving him some insights on how to start and run the chapter.
So I see you wearing this t-shirt, and the acronym, of course, you would think that people would know what that means. Of course, NFL, National Football League. But tell us a little bit more about what the PA stands for and the entire concept.
It's the Players Association, NFL Players Association, which is the union. It's all about the benefits. We have a current side and we have a retired side. And the current side, of course, is ran by the actual football players, the current football players, and then the retired side. After we finish football, we got a retired side. We have 33 chapters across the country, and guys, when they retire, they tap into those resources. And we have benefits, we got the portable, we got all kind of information that they need to know about retirement, pensions, and things like that.
Retirement. So, do you ever really retire though? Because you're still working.
No, you really don't retire. It's fun retirement, I think. It's because it's people oriented. It's about helping the benefits of the families and the things that guys want to do. If they want to get a degree completion program, they want to get their masters, they want to get certifications with some of the colleges that we got set up around the country. We got a lot of resources tapped into the NFL Players Association.
So medical health.
Medical health. I mean, from head to toe, you can get a physical, full body physical. Anything that you need, you can tap into the resources.
That's good. That's real good. So, prior to you being drafted into the NFL, is there anything else that you would have considered doing or being in life?
Well, coming out of high school, my dad was an Air Force guy, and if I didn't get a football scholarship, I wanted to go into the military. So I wanted to be a pilot. A lot of people don't know that, but I was ready to do whatever. I wanted to leave high school and stay focused on some dreams.
Would it have been the Air Force or another branch?
It would have probably been the Air Force, because my daddy went to the Air Force and my oldest brother went to the Army. So I was looking more into being a pilot, so Air Force.
Were you a military brat? Did y'all move around a lot?
We didn't move around a lot. It's 10 in my family, and I have 7 sisters and 2 brothers, and I'm the 8 out of the 10, and we are like 3 years apart. So by the time I was being thought of, my dad was fully retired, and he worked in Red River Army Depot, which is a military post that built tanks and anything attached to the Army. That's what they did. It's in East Texas, and right next to the Army Depot is an ammunition plant called Lone Star Ammunition Plant. So we was around a lot of military stuff, supply stuff, and but basically, I grew up just being my daddy's shadow. He was like a handy guy. He was real good with his hand. He was a carpenter. But he was basically military as well.
So let's talk a little bit about this, because obviously in 2021, and even when you were drafted, it's difficult to get, for some, it's difficult to get a scholarship to attend school. And some of our students now, I want to go to the NFL or go pro, and it's not that easy. So
it's not easy at all. If you think about, it's only 255, 260 guys get drafted every year. 260 guys. Only, you got about over 50,000 athletes coming out every year that play football, Division I football, and then you got about 300 to 500 guys that probably have the talent and the skill set to play in the National Football level league. So it's really a limited amount of resources. Only 105 or 10 guys make an NFL team every year.
Wow.
So it's not that many.
Do you think that they're doing a great job? Because I've been reading articles about this, drafting from our HBCUs, selecting African American or Black young men to play in the NFL.
I think they finna start putting more resources into it. You got better coaches now, so you got better facilities. So I think all that is coming, and I'm excited about what they get ready to do. They get ready to do some initiative with the HBCUs, and I'm excited about it. They got better coaches with Deion Sanders and George going over there to coach, and a couple of good coaches now, and so they putting resources and money into it. And I think I was looking at a spring league game, and a guy played for, I think, Prairie View receiver, had a good game, and so, real fast guy, came out 2 or 3 years ago, and I think, he got the talent level and the skill set to play in the National Football League. So if we can focus more on some of those, targets to where they go in and select players from, and Jerry Rice and Walter Payton, so there's definitely talent there.
What about you? Are you considering, because I know you're very involved in community engagement, football camps. I read somewhere about having a camp in Texarkana. What about a camp in Dallas? And I know in the camps you guys are showing and developing football skills, but I hear a lot about leadership and mentorship, because our guys, when they leave high school and college, they click into, their fast forward life, the money, the girls, in their small circle of being considered a public figure. They walk inside of a hotel lobby and all these women are coming. Give me a little bit of what they should be doing and what they don't need to do.
Well, I think this day and time with the social media and the way our society have gotten, guys got to be a little bit more locked into kind of what they want. I always try to tell guys to have a mentor, have somebody that you can point to that can help lead and guide you and help direct you. And so I think a lot of insights. I think there's a lot of traps out there. So what I try to do is just tell them, just know what you're in for. Study the game, just like studying your playbook. Knowing what's hidden and what's not hidden, and also surround yourself with great people, and also think outside the box. Be an entrepreneur. Be a guy that always have goals and challenges yourself each and every day. So with all that being said, I think with me, I just had a lot of good people in my path to help remind me of the things I need to do for doing your school work, and being eligible for the draft. Because a lot of people don't know this, the NFL will go back and look at everything about you from your 3rd grade all the way up to your current lifestyle. And so if you put something out there on social media, it's gonna show up, it's gonna pop up, and they're gonna know about it. They're gonna know about your character. They're gonna know about, the things that you like, some of the things that you got into. So it's very important that you have a good track record going into your adulthood.
Very good advice. Now, I know you play other sports. Seen you out in golf tournaments. How's the golf game?
Golf game is okay. I play in a lot of tournaments, and meaning that sometimes I don't have to use my ball all the time. So, but mostly for charity. We try to raise funds for different nonprofits and things like that. I love that because it's all about trying to help and fill gaps in our community. So I'm really big on that. I started the Best Wishes Foundation to help the homeless kids in some of the schools, and I think after playing football, I was in the track and turf business, so I was able to go around a lot of schools and talk to coaches and kind of see what they're dealing with their student athletes. And so I just placed on my heart, God placed on my heart that if you know about some kids through the counselor, through the head coach, then you can maybe help fill some gaps. So some of the things I've been doing through my Best Wishes Foundation.
So you're NFLPA, you have your Best Wishes Foundation. What do you like to travel when you have downtime?
No, I love to travel. I love sometimes me and some guys will go fishing. We go to the lake and take a week off. I love doing football camps in the summertime. because that's the time where kids have downtime from school. So we need to fill gaps of where we can keep them involved or keep them engaged in something that's fulfilling, that goal setting and goal oriented to help them, prepare their path. So if you don't reach back and give back, then I think you're missing the whole concept about what is it that you need to do.
So live to give, basically. Reach
Absolutely.
back and give back.
Absolutely.
So, and still, even I'm hearing, even in your travel, you're working.
Right.
What do you do for self-care?
Self-care, I work out a lot. Of course, I train some kids from time to time. And, basically with the NFL Players Association, there's a lot of things that we need to do for us keeping guys supported on information. So it's a combination of a lot of that. And I love to travel,
Where do you like to go? Like, give me one location.
I like, just got back from LA, Miami, like New York, places like that, just where there's a lot of people. I don't do a whole lot of going to the beach and things like that, but mostly, I go like going to the country,
I heard the fishing,
The fishing.
Laid back, you need peace of mind.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I like things like that.
So like Colorado, Lake Tahoe,
Lake
places
Tahoe,
like that.
yes,
Okay.
been there, and sometimes we went out to Denver and done football camps out in Denver, Chicago. Love Chicago, so just like to travel in the different cities to see the people, and love Canada. I've been almost in every major city in Canada.
I'm sure you have
Yeah.
in NFL.
Yeah.
What is one thing, if you could, or if you wanted to change, either from your childhood or in high school and going into adulthood, that you would do differently?
I think one of the things I probably would be just continue to get closer to the Lord, or something like that. Just I don't have a whole lot of bad things that happened. The one thing that did happen to me in high school was I got caught drinking, and I had to run 50 miles to play football my senior year, and I had to run each one of those miles under 8-minute mile.
I'm sorry, so not 5 laps. You said 50 as in 50 miles.
50 miles. I had to run 50 miles, each mile under 8-minute mile time. And so what I did was I chose to run 5 miles a day. So from that Monday to that Friday, I had ran 25 miles. And so the next Monday on the 28 mile, the coach told me that I didn't make the mile. And when I ran that extra mile, that's when God gave me the notion that I could play pro football. So the second Friday, I finished the 50th mile.
So you were explaining to me about running 50 miles, and I initially said, did you say 5 laps? And you said no, 50 miles.
Yeah, the one thing I could change in my life was a decision that I hung out with the wrong group of guys, and I got caught drinking at a track meet, and I had to run 50 miles in order to play football my senior year. And so the coach said, Byron, you have to run 50 miles. There was 5 of us, and I was the only one that told the truth. So I had to run each mile on the 8-minute mile. So I elected to run 5 miles a day, and from that Monday to that Friday, and it was 25 miles the first week. So the second Monday on the 28 mile, I ran the mile, and then the coach came up to me and said, Byron, you didn't make that mile. I said, Coach, I made that mile. So when I ran that extra mile, God told me I was going to play pro football for 12 years. So the second Friday.
Wait, how many years?
12 years.
12 years.
Yes.
12 disciples.
Yes, 12 disciples. So that Friday, I finished the 50th mile,
Wow.
and I call it 50 plus 1. And so 2 weeks later, the coach came up to me and said, Byron, you made that mile. I just want to see if you're going to quit. And that right there just confined, just was proven to me that, you have to stay with your goals and stay with what you did. Even though I made a mistake hanging out with the wrong crowd and drinking, I corrected that. And then 30 years ago, I'm gonna say from 1978 when I ran those miles, in 2009, my high school needed to put in a new track. and I'm in the track and turf business. The track hadn't even been touched by nobody in 30 years. So they called me, we put in a new track, and I made a $50,000 commission on that track. So God paid me $1,000 for every mile that I ran. 30 years later.
You sharing that, I'm sure it just blessed me, because the confirmation is sometimes we're tunnel vision, and we see it clear, and that's what you did.
And that's what I try to tell kids, even though sometimes we all fall short, sometimes we're gonna make mistakes, but you need to, just continue to stay consistent with who you are and what you want to become. And yeah, you can get tested. We get tested each and every day, but you have to pass the test. And that story there just goes a long way. I got a comic book called The Number 87. Came out a couple of years. It's on Amazon.
Okay.
And we kind of put that part in that comic book to share with kids that you can become a superhero through all your tests and through all your shortfalls.
I'm going to check that out. Number 87.
Number 87.
And that's your jersey number. No?
Yes, that was my jersey number.
Thank you so much for sharing. I learned a lot. This was, some confirmations for me. I almost want to be a mom and be like, I'm proud of you. Did you still continue to pour back into the community? You didn't just retire as an NFL player and just go do whatever. You're still giving back. So I want to thank you again for your time today. Could you could be somewhere else, doing somewhere else, whatever.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And we're in this together. This is a team effort. We want to reach out and touch so many kids and tell our stories, because our story is so important. Because their story one day will be important.
Absolutely. Well, there you have it. We just had Byron Williams on Transparency Talk. Stay tuned.